Hi guys. So we have a special guest today in your virtual learning new project video. This is Gypsy. This is my cat. And she very rarely sits on my lap, but I guess for this video, she's going to sit on my lap and let me pet her while I explain to you this project. So, guest starring Gypsy. Okay. So for this next project, we're going to be doing sort of an artist study about a particular painter. So this painter is known as, well, her name is Francoise Nielly, and obviously she is French. So Francoise Nielly does portraits, meaning we are going to be doing a portrait in her particular style. So unfortunately, because we're not at school, we're not going to do this on canvas. And we don't necessarily have the bright fluorescent paints that she uses for this portrait. She also uses a palette knife, which you have the option to use if you'd like to, but we're really focusing just on the blocky way that she constructs her portraits and how she uses unconventional colors for these portraits. So there's a lot of different portraits that are recognizable to people, but the colors don't match their particular pictures. So it's vibrant, it's detailed, and it's a portrait. Using sort of this block style that we're going to talk about a little bit further into this. So as you can see, her style is incredible, very detailed, and focusing on a portrait of a person. So for your ultimate project, you are going to be completing a portrait. And in the past, I would have you do a self-portrait, but you don't necessarily have to if you don't want to. So the portrait could be a self-portrait if you want to. Or it could be a portrait of someone that you know. I would just prefer that it's not a portrait of someone that you find on the internet. Like, I have enough Harry Styles drawings and, I don't need famous people paintings. I would like it to be relevant to you. So as you can see, she focuses on the light and shadow that's cast on a face. And a lot of her faces are at 3/4 view. From different perspectives. So these are sort of 3/4 view, one towards the side, and then one sort of up and towards the side. And she's focusing on a lot of light and color, and what the color does to the recognizable portions of the face. So as you can see, the vibrancy that she uses of these pinks and these yellows and these blues really intensifies those highlights. And then her shadows are black. Now remember, when doing black shadows, it can become too dark too fast, and and the black can really overtake the drawing, or I'm sorry, the painting. So if you want to use a different color in your shadows besides black, you absolutely can. So like in this one, you can see there's a little bit of that purple. Purple or dark blue is a really awesome choice for a shadow. This one, she uses more of a grayscale. So I would like you to be as colorful with your palette as you possibly can be for your final product. Again, she's using it sort of an accent color. If you really, really want to do a painting in this style, please let me know beforehand. And as you go through here, you could probably recognize that some of these are celebrities. So I'm the meanest teacher in the world. I'm not letting you do celebrities. You have to do a recognizable person to you. This one has more of an accent color in the light source from the back. So I really enjoy that this light source is coming from this unknown area, projecting it onto his face, and then these really intense darker shadows that are purple but also black. So we'll just kind of click through here. If you'd like to do multiple people, you can. So she has one with two faces sort of skewed off, but it's totally up to you. So I won't spend too much time going through all of these. Oh, see, here we go. Daniel Craig. I know. We won't go through all these too much, but these are the requirements for your painting. So the first thing that you're going to do for your sketchbook assignment for this painting, there is a preliminary sketch, but not of the painting that you're going to end up doing on the final piece of watercolor paper. So in the past, I traditionally had students use oil pastels on watercolor paper to try and replicate one of her paintings. So the first thing that you're going to do is choose a painting of hers that you would like to try to replicate. The second thing is, if you have oil pastels, you can use them, or some sort of drawing tool, you can use them. But if you'd like to use paint in what I gave you in the kit, please feel free. So whatever you have at home, whatever is going to work to try and replicate this artwork, totally up to you. So you're focusing on the placement of highlights, midtones, and shadows. So with the sketchbook assignment, you can get a better idea of just how blocky her colors are, how she mixes some things but doesn't mix other things, and then how light and shadow is going to be affected on your final painting. Okay, this part is possibly going to be a problem if you don't have a photo editing system. So in the past, I've used Photoshop with students, but I do have an alternative if you do not have Photoshop. So I will bring that up in a different video. But take a picture using dramatic lighting if you are using, or if you're doing a self-portrait. If you have a picture of somebody that already has dramatic lighting, great. If you want to take a picture of someone at your house using dramatic lighting, even better. But the dramatic lighting is going to add to your painting. Remember that your painting paper, your watercolor paper is 9 by 12. So you can crop your photo to 9 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 if you want a border. But you want a good quality image to work from. If you don't have a printer at home, that's totally fine. I use my screens, either an iPad or my laptop or my phone, to use as a reference while I am painting. But you will be painting from this referenced photograph. If you have Photoshop, there is a filter that you can specifically use called Cutout that will help you see the highlights, midtones, and shadows a little bit more simply in your work. If you have a different program or you want me to show you a different program to do that filter, you can. Or I can. Or you can totally just not use a filter and kind of wing it. But I will provide those resources as we continue on and get into that project. The last thing that you're going to do is, besides drawing out your final work on your watercolor paper using pencil, is choosing a palette. So you want a highlight color, a midtone color, maybe 2 midtone colors, and a shadow color, using either acrylic paint or the gouache that I gave you. So for this particular project, you can decide what's going to work better for you, gouache or acrylic. If you'd like to use a combination of both, you can. Just know that gouache is a little bit like watercolor. So, and acrylic, it's like that in-between paint. So it might be a little weird for you to try to mix it. Anyway, totally up to you. So this painting is one that you have the most freedom on, which is cool, but it is going to be difficult. And I will be doing one with you guys. I will be doing a self-portrait. So hopefully we'll work through this together and kind of work out the kinks of virtual learning. So let me know if you have any questions, and obviously check Google Classroom for any sort of update regarding technology or this painting. All right, good luck.